Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this show. This is Fly Nubian Money. I am your host for today, anyways, Dr. Lene Javette. Fly Nubian Money is where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. We are exploring an exciting and empowering topic today, the best side hustles for Black people. Whether you're looking to supplement your income, start a new venture, or achieve financial independence, our co-queens are here to share their invaluable insights. Today, my co-queens include I need to see I believe it's Minister Connie. I can't see the names on the screen, but I believe it's Minister Connie up there. Thank you so much. And then we have Linda, bodacious lifestyle coach for Black women over 50. We have Athena Gardner, CPA and women's wealth coach, as well as Laura Lala Key, international real estate agent. Good morning, Queens. How are you guys doing? Or afternoon. We might not all be in the same time zone. So good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. So side hustles is our topic today. But before I get into that, if you are just tuning in, this is your first time seeing us, or if you want to be reminded to see us on a regular basis, right now you can text the word Queens to 87948. Again, that's 87948, so that you can be reminded every time we go live, Monday through Friday at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern, I believe it is. I'm in Arizona, so it's 10 o'clock a.m. for me. So I want to say 10 a.m., but I know that that's not the right time. Anyway, so side hustles. I want to talk about the reason why side hustles are important. Before we get into what a side hustle is and who has one and why, let's talk about the reasons that side hustles are important. The racial wealth gap. The Federal Reserve said in 2019 survey of consumer finances, it showed that the median wealth of white families is 8 times greater than that of Black families, highlighting the importance of additional income streams. So in order for us to make this wealth gap a little bit smaller, we need to make more money, okay? And so all the queens here with us today have had some type of side hustle. So let's start with what is a side hustle? I will throw that over to you, Lala. What's a side hustle? I think you might be on mute.
I'm muted. A side hustle is something that you can do outside of your regular 9 to 5. That doesn't normally necessarily mean it takes a whole bunch of time, but some of the hot side hustles are short term for a certain amount of money, or you can make a side hustle a long term thing and just take a couple of hours out of your day and then earn coins on the side. So it's something that can help you add additional income to what you normally make for your 9 to 5.
I love that. So we're going to go to our wealth strategist here. Athena, what was your first side hustle and why?
My first side hustle was I was an online tutor. So I was an online tutor and I liked it because it paid me, I think it was getting like $15 to $20 an hour. And I could do that in addition to my current job at the time. Now, I didn't want a side hustle that would require me to leave my home, have to put any additional money. And when I talk to women about these things, I ask them the best thing to do is to do what you know how to do already. So I just graduated college. I was an accounting major. I started working in an accounting firm, and accounting was a very big subject matter and it got paid like one of the highest on the tutoring website. So that's what I chose to do.
I love it. Linda, so bodacious lifestyle coach. So we're talking about side hustles. So let's apply that to life. Somebody's thinking about possibly starting a side hustle, or they have a talent or a skill, like Athena said, and they're thinking, maybe I should start a side hustle too. I want to shorten the wealth gap in my family. What kind of mindset should somebody have or be working on to start a side hustle or to step out in faith and start a business? You might be on mute.
Okay,
Thank you so much for the question. Well, the first thing I would say is if you already have a full-time job, know that your side hustle, give it time to mature. A lot of times we really have this microwave mindset as far as today I choose to hustle, by next month I'll be flourishing and I'll be able to quit my job by the end of the year. So you definitely have to have a growth mindset and a realistic mindset and realize that success is not a straight line, it's a squiggly line. So bear in mind that this is going to take time. You need to be flexible in your expectations and stay the distance. It is not set in stone. And it's not like clocking in, or do people clock in? I've been working for myself for so long. But anywho, it's not like you're going to get a certain amount of money every 2 weeks. As long as you can keep that in mind, you'll be just fine. So have a flexible mindset, a realistic mindset, and a growth mindset.
Ooh, I like that. Minister Connie, you have author, real estate investor, entrepreneur, hyphen behind your name, right? How do you, what are some of what, I'm going to ask you the same question as Athena. What were some of your early side hustles that helped you put these commas and hyphens behind your name to become, some might say, a serial entrepreneur? What was like your first side hustle and why did you choose that one?
My first side hustle was skincare. I love to do facials. So when I went out to do a facial, I would charge $30 if they didn't buy the supplies. If they bought the supplies, the facial was free. So that was my first thing. It was something I was passionate about. I'm still passionate about skincare. So that was my first one. And then from there, I became a notary. I used to do notaries on wheels. I had so many side hustles that it was crazy. I did so many things. I had to find my niche and I went from one thing to another. I'm not advising anyone to do that, but everything I did, I really loved doing. So that's how I began. I began just doing different things to find out what was my niche.
Awesome. All right, so we're going to go to the side hustle popularity slide. According to a 2022 survey by Dollar Sprout, 45% of Americans have a side hustle, and nearly 1 in 3 earn more than $500 per month from their side hustle. More than $500 per month. So I'm going to ask all the queens this because I think this would be kind of cool. How much money did you make in your first side hustle? We'll start with you, Lala. You're on mute.
This mute button and now we're going to argue today. I have to tag on to Minister Connie. My first really good side hustle was being a notary. And I found out how important that was being in real estate because there are levels to notaries. You can just do a regular notary. You can do a signing notary, which means you understand real estate signings and they pay more, anywhere from $250 to $500, depending on how fast they need you. And if you can get to somewhere to get to that person, notary on wheels. That is a great side hustle. You don't spend a lot of money getting your notary. And a lot of times when they know that you have that signing part of notary, banks see a list of who has that and they'll reach out to you. And that's free advertising. You could even go into the banks and say, hey, listen, I am a signing notary. If you need me to go to someone, I can do that. That was great money. But here's the third level of notary, because I do international real estate. Apostille. The apostille notary can apostille things that is cross country. And that pays a lot of money too, because there is not a lot of apostille notaries. Mm-hmm. And so when someone really needs something out of country, they are searching for you. So if you get all 3 of those, you have great opportunity for a great side hustle. And you'll be turning away business sometimes.
I like that. What about you, Athena?
Well, it's so interesting because I'm actually a notary too. Another thing with notaries, you can do remote online notaries too now. So you can notarize people's documents online and get paid from home. So that's another thing. My first side hustle, which was the tutoring, I was making at the time around that 500 mark because I was only doing it ad hoc. But the side hustle that kind of paid the most was I had a YouTube channel for one of my businesses, and that channel was bringing me around $3,000-$4,000 a month.
Wow.
So that was
Wow.
I didn't tell you guys on the
That
channel.
was more.
I grew to like 22,000 subscribers. Yeah, that was a good channel. But yeah, so that was the one that paid me the most. I'm not into having to do extra hard work with side hustles. So for me, I always recommend to my clients to just build something that you can do from home based off of your expertise. I think that's the best way.
Right.
That's good. That's good money. Linda?
This may be a little off the rail, but I am a huge thrifty queen. And when I was a lot younger, I would go to thrift stores and purchase things. I have a really good eye for fashion. And I would then take my finds, my treasures to the swap meet. And I could make, back then I was in beauty school, so it supplemented my beauty school because we don't make money going to beauty school and the tips were not tipping. So I could make in a weekend from $500 to $1,000 a weekend. But I was really hitting up so many thrift stores and I became known that the ladies would see me and they'd be like, oh, we set some stuff aside. I don't know if they can do that now, but back then we're talking like early 90s, late 80s, they would set things aside and I would get something for say a quarter. And depending on what it was, I would look up things in the books back then. I could get a quarter could turn into $50 easy. So it was great.
Man, y'all had good side hustles. What about you, Minister Connie?
That's a good question. I had the facials and then I did the notary. And then after that, I was selling cell phones.
No, how much money were you making off of your first side hustle? Like, so the slide said 500 was about.
I made a little over $500. I wasn't really trying to hustle it. It was a passion, so I did it. So it supplemented my income by about $500, $600 ish. It helped pay the bills, some of the bills, but not a lot because I didn't really push that too much.
Okay. So my side hustle, I didn't really have a true like side hustle because when I left corporate America, I jumped full 2 feet into entrepreneurship. However, entrepreneurship wasn't entrepreneuring. And so I had to get a side hustle for my business. So I worked through this company called Arise where you can do things at home. And so I did taxes at home and I worked for T-Mobile at home on the side of my business. And they paid pretty good. I was making like $1,500, $2,500 a month because I could work based on what I wanted. I could work my own hours and I could work them around my business. So that was my side hustle. I had a side hustle for my side hustle, kind of. But anyways, so let's look at the top 5 side hustles, if we can have that slide up. Okay, so one is freelance writing and content creation. Another one is online tutoring and teaching. The third one is e-commerce and drop shipping. I love that one. That's one of my favorite. The next one is gig economy jobs, and then remote virtual assistant. All right. We will start with you, Linda. Have you done any of those jobs?
I have not.
No? Okay.
I have not done any of those. Those are more sit down type of endeavors, and I like to be out and about around people. So everything that I've ever done was in that capacity.
So what you're basically saying is that it's important that your side hustle aligns with who you are and what you do, kind of.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
And that's why some people will struggle because they'll get into the hot thing, but if it doesn't align with you, it'll fizzle out and die really quickly, and all that money you invested goes out the window. So absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. What about you, Athena?
So
Off of
I've
that,
done many things on the list.
okay. Off of the top
So-
five. Off of the top five. We haven't got to the
For
40
the top
yet.
five, I've done content creation. So I had a YouTube channel where I might as well say I was doing a YouTube channel where I was doing a lot of tarot readings because I'm into tarot. And that channel used to get so many views. I used to get like 2,000-3,000 checks just off of the ad revenue. And then I charged like up to like $250 per reading. So I used to get people who book me for those things. The tutoring was when I was younger in college, and I used to get around $15-17 an hour for that. So I like the online tutoring because it's easy. I'm a proponent of online. I've done drop shipping with like a Printful store before. That's good too, but you need to create like a business around that, like to get advertising and people to your actual store. So that takes a little bit more work, but I definitely prefer online and ease and making money while you're sleeping type of thing. I think that's the easiest and best way to like scale a business and just a side hustle that is scalable as well.
Yes, I like that. What about you, Lala?
I've done several things. I do teach online, and I keep it within my context of what my job is. I teach first-time home buyers classes online, and with that, I also create digital products to go with my class. So I may have a no-fee class, but the materials that go with that class do cost something, and it's a nice little side hustle, and I'm educating people. So, you can count that as being educating other people as well. So anytime that I can tap into what I do and show my expertise, I grab that as quick as possible.
All right, Minister Connie, we're going to round that question out with you.
I never done anything on that list of the five top, freelancing position. No, I haven't done anything.
And so that goes to show, while this is the top five, there's so many more. We actually have a list of a full 40 that we're going to get to. So just to reiterate, what was up there? Freelancing, e-commerce, drop shipping, virtual assisting. There's a variety, remote gig economy jobs, and remote virtual assistant. So those are the top five. And you have, I think 5 of us here. Some of us have done those, some of us haven't, and everybody has made money. I have a question. How much time should your side hustle take, Athena?
Well, it depends on what you're trying to do, right? So the tutoring, I always think the less money you make, the less money it is easier to kind of allocate the time. So the tutoring already had a customer base, I didn't have to do much work. So I was making like $15 an hour. So when I was doing YouTube content creation and then drop shipping, that took more time. That took at least 10 hours or more a week, because I would have to create the videos and I had like a consistent schedule. And then with drop shipping, like I said, creating the store and picking the items is the easy part. The hard part now is coming up with your whole marketing and sales strategy to try to get people to come to your site and also actually buy. So I also want people to consider what their normal day-to-day is, what their normal job is, and figure out what makes sense for them and their lifestyle. I know some people who do Uber and all these other things. I don't recommend those because you're exposing yourself to strangers. By the time you deduct your gas and depreciation and wear and tear in your car, plus the additional insurance, you're not really making much, in my opinion. But it's also a very easy thing to do. So you have to weigh the trade-offs when it comes to side hustles.
I put myself on mute to ask the question. I said, I like that. Lala, how much knowledge should somebody have when they're starting a business? Athena kind of tapped in on business acumen around marketing, things of that nature. A lot of times people go into a side hustle, they don't know anything. So what would you tell somebody who's thinking about starting a side hustle and maybe they don't have a lot of business acumen?
Well, first you got to tap into what you know. You are an expert at something. I don't care if you're an expert at frying chicken. If somebody doesn't know how to fry chicken, me, because I'm scared, I'm going to buy your $5 product to show me how to fry some chicken. So you need to tap into what you know. And if that is something that is in your career or something that is great for your hobby, Perfect example. I need to remodel a desk and I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to pay somebody to show me how to stand that thing down and make it mine. So that's someone else's wheelhouse, but I can pay them for what they know. So tap into your knowledge. Do not just go into something that you don't know about, because people will know about that and word of mouth travels fast. So tap into what you know.
Okay, so let's say somebody wanted to tap into something that they didn't know. Because I'm gonna pivot over here to Connie real quick. Real estate is hot. Everybody want to get into real estate as a side hustle. They want to keep their job and they want to sell houses. What would you say, or what would you recommend to someone who is potentially thinking about real estate as their side hustle?
I started off by reading every book I could get a hold of in real estate. That's how I started getting educated. And then I took a class, which cost me some money, but it was very, very well worth it. So I had consultants to help me to grow my business. So that is always good. If whatever you don't know, you can always find a consultant. So, and I joined a lot of women's group in real estate. So one of them that I did join and I paid money for was called REEN, WREN. So I joined them and they taught me a lot of things to help you to keep from making mistakes on buying properties that is going to cost you a whole lot of money and you don't make anything. So I wanted to be safe in that area, but I've been doing it for like 26 years. There's all kind of things that you could pick up out of a book and learn, or YouTube. YouTube got a lot of things too.
YouTube University,
Yeah.
is always open and it's free.
Yes.
It doesn't cost you anything to go to YouTube University.
Yes.
Or you can tune in here to Fly Nubian Money every Monday,
Yes.
Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern. If you would like to get more content like this so you can stay encouraged and motivated and talk about your money, text the word Queens to 87948. Again, that's Queens to 87948. That way you can get notified when we go live, when we're in the room, when we're talking about money. So I am going to pivot to Linda, but before I do, I want to talk about entrepreneurship among Black Americans, if we can get that slide up. A study by Guidant Financial and the Small Business Trends Alliance found that 30% of Black entrepreneurs started their businesses to pursue their passion, making passion-driven side hustles a significant trend. Okay, 30% of Black entrepreneurs found their side hustle by way of their passion. I often say, when you start a business, usually it's for one of three things. And if you're lucky, you get to do all three. And those three things are passion, purpose, and profit.
Mm-hmm.
Passion is great, but the people out there saving the wells, they don't always make a lot of money. So sometimes people go into business because it's something that they're passionate about, but then they can't figure out how to profit from it. I don't know how to make money. I love the air and I want to tell everybody about how clean the air should be, but can you make money from it? Right? So that's passion. Purpose, there's a reason for this business. You may not love it, you might not like it, but there's a purpose for it and you're going to do it because somebody has to do it. Somebody has to have a garbage company. Somebody has to have these various businesses that are out there. So you say, okay, you know what, I'll do it. There's a purpose for it. And then other people start a business because it's profitable. I just want to make money. I'm gonna go out here and get in this business. It's profitable and I'm gonna do it. So of the three, you at least want to be profitable. If you can't, if you can't have passion and purpose, at least have profit. But if you can't have, if nothing else, then have two: purpose and profit, passion and profit. If you're lucky, you get to do something that you're passionate about, that has a purpose, and you can profit from it. Like that's the qualm, if you will, right? Linda, what are practical steps that someone should take to ensure that their side hustle aligns with their personal and professional and or passion goals?
So make sure that it aligns with their personal, passion, and professional goals. All right. I would say that if you can get into something that you are passionate about and make that profitable, or you see a profit place in that passion project of yours, that is the best thing, because there are going to be times when you're not going to make any money. Something has got to drive you to continue with the business. So I always ask people, what is your why? Why are you doing this? And be honest. If it really is, you know what, I just want to make some money, then I would question them and say, so what's going to keep you going when you're not making the money? Because you're not just going to dive in and make the money. So I always tell people, especially being a life coach, what is your why? You have to identify why you're doing it, because something has got to be able to sustain you as you're building. You're not going to just take off like a plane and just go straight up into the altitude. So what's going to keep you going while you're gaining your momentum, so to speak? So I believe passion is number one. I just believe that, because even with you ladies, Connie and Lala, with the real estate, if you're giving up weekends, a lot of times you're doing open houses, you're missing events and different things, especially in the beginning. So if you are not passionate about that, you got to build a clientele, all of the things, go to networking events. So it cannot just be about, because then I'm going to start selling luxury properties. It takes a minute to get to that point. So I believe the passion in your why has to be there, or it's not going to be sustainable.
I like that. Connie, with the hyphens, right? Author, real estate investor, entrepreneur, minister, you have all these different things. How do you choose? Let me make sure I ask this question properly, because sometimes we start, like I would say you're a serial entrepreneur, right? And sometimes when we're talking about having side hustles, people will start adding on too many things, or they start doing all of the things. How do you know, or how did you select which things that you would do, that you would add to your plate? Become an author, be an entrepreneur, be a real estate investor, because these are multiple different things. I don't even know if I would call them side hustles. It sounds like serial entrepreneur.
Right, exactly. What I had decided to do for each thing, I would take like a sabbatical away from one area that was working in my business. One I had for 27 and a half years. So I was able to pull away a little bit instead of working. I don't work in my business. I work on my business now. In the beginning, I had to. Then I kind of like pull back and separate myself for that area of what I want to do. I also have a mental health. I'm an associate owner of a mental health clinic that's here in Pittsburgh. So I dedicated 5 years to that. It was a lot of work, but the thing is that I dedicated that time. So what I do, I get up in the morning, I spend my time thinking about what I need to do that day, what's important, what is not important, and what is emergency that I need to work on. So from that list, I will work on whatever business, writing, whatever I need to do. I will work on that for a few hours. So sometimes I might work on something 10 hours a week, 5 hours a week, maybe 1 hour a week, or not at all. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I just do with the flow. And I also pray and ask the Lord, give me super to my natural.
I like that.
Yeah.
Give me super to my natural. Okay, come through. So I see a couple of the comments in the chat asking questions about certain things. So let's kind of, we don't have to put the list up, but I'm going to talk about just a couple of the ones. There's this list of 40 different side hustle ideas, some of which we have done, some of which we haven't done. I'm going to call out just a couple of them, right? And I'm going to use the ones that I feel like anybody that's on here or watches this replay can do. Okay. So freelance writing and blogging, if you have something that you're interested in that you can share with other people, that would be a great one. Online tutoring and coaching, basically something that you know about that you can help somebody else to come through or experience. Real estate investing. We have 2 real estate investors here, so we can definitely dive deeper into that. Affiliate marketing is another side hustle that I think people sleep on. If you are making recommendations or referrals or telling people about some type of a business or an event or a product or a tool, you can get paid for that. People are literally making tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars every month doing affiliate marketing. Drop shipping business, which Athena talked about earlier, using like Printify or Printful, event planning and coordinating, YouTube creation, ebook publishing. I saw somebody was asking about authoring. We're going to get into that in a hot second. Podcasting, fitness training and coaching, meal prep and catering, online courses. I like the pet sitting and dog walking. I thought that one was pretty cool. Personal shopping and styling, beauty services, an e-commerce store, personal chef. Somebody said it earlier, if you're good at cooking, somebody will pay you to either cook for them or teach them how to cook. Mobile notary services, language translation. I'm not reading them all. I'm just kind of going through the ones that I think are really anybody can do. A subscription-based box curator, voice acting, and online clothing boutique. That's not the whole list, but those are some very simple side hustles that literally anybody who's watching this show right now can go and do. So let's talk about authoring, because I saw the comment about being an author. I can't see who asked the question. I think it was Spirited Poetess. Oh my, I'm editing my third book. I have no idea how to market. Who all on the panel is an author? Okay, I'll start with you, Linda. How would you help her in that?
What was the question? I apologize.
Because I'm editing my third book. I have no idea how to market.
How to market. All right. One of the things that I did is I pre-sold my book. First of all, I created a landing page. Well, I didn't create it. I had a virtual assistant create the landing page. And on the landing page, if they pre-ordered the book, they would get a signed copy from me. And because it was about my life coaching, I gave them a complimentary session, 1 hour session, if they pre-ordered the book. Now, the book was $35. So I felt like I was definitely getting my value. Another way you can market is by setting up a challenge or a contest by how many people can buy the book, tag you, and maybe showcase themselves reading your book. You can do challenges, you can do pre-orders, you can do a book summit. You can have other people join you. You could have people chime in as you read the book. You could have people purchase the book and then create a book club. There are so many different ways that you can market the book. Those are 4. You can pre-sell the book before it's even done, before you've even done with the edit. Challenges, contests, have the people purchase or show you the receipt that they got, and then do something with that as well. So those are 4 different easy ways that you can do that really don't cost you that much either.
And so that kind of goes back to a little bit of what we're talking about around business acumen, right? So I am super, I'm going to do it one more time, super passionate about business acumen in the Black community. I personally believe, this is me, that the reason why we have a lot of these negative stereotypes around Black business is because most of us, not all, but most, are first generation entrepreneurs. You might not know somebody else who's an entrepreneur. Your mom might not have been an entrepreneur, your cousin. You might not be around or sitting at tables with other entrepreneurs, and you want to start a business. And most times when somebody's starting a business, the objective is to make money, right? And so being a first generation entrepreneur who without the experience and or connection, ties, and knowledge of another entrepreneur kind of leaves you out there by yourself in the wind. You're getting free information on YouTube. You're piecing things together, reverse engineering funnels, trying to do the best that you can with your business. Pricing doesn't help because you're a smaller business. So if you have to order a product, you're going to pay more. So you can't give people a lower price because you had to pay a higher price. So there's all these different things that come against us as Black entrepreneurs who want to have or start a business. again, this is why I think that we have some of these stereotypical issues. Prices are too high. Business doesn't run well. I've never ran a business before. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm trying, whatever the case might be. So I do think it's super important, even if you're doing a side hustle, to take the time to understand what you're doing, to get the knowledge, to read, to invest in a course or a class, better understand writing, understand the process. And if it's something that you really want to do, take the time to invest in it, learn it, find a muse or somebody who's doing the business like you want to do it. What are they talking about? Understand your target market. I think sometimes when we hear side hustle, it doesn't equate to, or we don't calculate it as an actual business, but it is. You just hustling it on the side of whatever else you're doing, but it's still a business. And if you want to learn more about business and money and what's happening in the world, you should always come back to Fly Nubian Money, Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. And if you want to get reminded when we're live and what we're going to be doing and talking about, you can text the words Queens. Text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948. Again, that's 87948. Athena, how much have you invested to better your craft, to learn more about what it is that you do, so that you can take your side hustle? And it doesn't even have to be taking your side hustle to your main thing, but let's just talk about investing in knowledge to learn what it is that you do. How much have you invested?
Listen, I don't even know what that number is fully, between college education, these professional licenses. I had mentors. I've paid for mentorship now. Okay, this was just last year. That fee was 10 grand. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Now, what I do recommend for people looking to get into business and they have ideas is to find a coach, find someone like Dr. Lene, like myself, Lala, everybody on this panel, because what we will be able to do for you is to shorten the learning curve. What I've realized in business is a process is a process. You're not going to escape that. Anyone selling you like you're going to be rich tomorrow is selling snake oil. But what you can escape is some of the mistakes, some of the hardships, and some of the expensive lessons by investing money in getting someone who is certified or is doing what you're doing, or knows what they're doing. So that is one thing. What I also want to advise people is, yes, passion is important in business, because, and your passion doesn't necessarily have to be the business itself. Your passion can be the reason why you want to have the business. Maybe the reason is that you want to provide your children a better life. Maybe you want to, generational wealth. Maybe you just don't want to work for nobody. Whatever that reason is, but I also want people to tap into their talent, because if you are talented at something, then that will have a more perceived value and people are willing to pay more money for it. And also, since this is a Black channel, I want to talk about the concept of just because you are a Black business doesn't mean that you only sell to Black people.
Right.
So I want to put that out there, because a lot of us start these super, super niched business. And it's for some business models, it works. The Black and Melanin t-shirt model, obviously that's the target audience. But if you have a product that anyone can buy, focus on, just remind yourself that you don't only have to target Black people. And an important thing with that too, and as I've learned in business, is that because we are the economic group that is struggling the most, sometimes just targeting only Black people will limit your earning potential, because we're looking for disposable income dollars. And that is a group that is financially pressed, is what I'm going to say. So open up your pool, or who your target audience is as well. Don't limit yourself to just Black people.
I like that.
I just want to chime in really quick. When you say the group that is financially pressed, what do you mean by that?
Meaning that
You mean Black people in general, or what are you saying?
Meaning that our socioeconomics, when we're comparing statistically, comparing to what was the stat you said earlier, Dr. Lene, about generational wealth, that white people have 8%?
8 times greater than that of Black families.
Correct. We have the racial wealth gap, and we know the historical implications of that has led us to this day. But I've often found, even in business, you don't know who your client is or who may also need your services. So I always encourage people to expand their mind around who is going to give you that money, because the money is green, honey.
Right.
The money is green.
As working with Black women exclusively, I am doing quite well. And it could be because I'm working with Black women who are 50 and over, so they have more time in the workforce or whatever that is that they're doing. And so for me, niching down and working exclusively with Black women has been quite productive for me. But again, that could be because they have been in the workforce for quite some time.
Yeah, women in that age bracket tend to have more disposable income because for the reasons that you said. And then, like I said, for some business models, that works because obviously you're a bodacious life coach, and if I want a life coach that looks like me, then I'm going to be more encouraged to go to you, Linda. Obviously,
Right.
Yeah, knowing and understanding your business model and your target market are super crucial when you start talking about who you're branding to, who you're marketing to, the type of product that you're going to have. I too, and or also specifically work with Black individuals. I'm a business coach who has a passion for making sure that Black businesses are not stereotypical and that they don't operate from a negative perspective. So I teach, coach on business acumen to make sure of that. That's what I'm passionate about. That's what I profit from. However, I have another business that's a tangible product that's for everybody. So I can't get to $1 billion. Lord, let me make sure I say that with conviction. I would love to build $1 billion business off of Black people. It has never been done before. Maybe I'll be the first, but just in case I'm not, I am diversified to make sure I can get all the monies that are out there. I want all the coins from all the tables. So even if you do have a business that focuses on Black people, because we do need to focus on Black people, there's a whole world out there of people who have money that are willing to spend it, get their money. We need to be more diversified in the types of businesses that we have. I promise you, no tea, no shade. We have a lot of restaurants. We got a lot of beauty shops. We got a lot of wig shops. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to get out here and get some tech companies. We need to get out here and get some other things. So please be diversified, and please do create products, services, businesses, side hustles that everybody can buy from so that we can bring this money into our community. Let me reset the room. This is Fly Nubian Money. We're here every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. You can tune in to us here, but you can also join the text message list so that you can get notified when we're here, because we know you don't want to miss this, right? So text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948, and you can be notified whenever we are live. Again, that's Monday through Friday at 1:00. Lala, I know you have something to add to something we have been talking about. I don't even necessarily know if I want to go to a question because you've been sitting there so patiently. Would you like to add anything to the conversation at this point?
Yes, don't be afraid to try things, because sometimes when you try things and you think that's the thing for you, then you find out maybe that's not the thing for me, but something else comes from that. So don't just fall for anything, but at least give it a try to see if it's something in your wheelhouse that you can expound on. And I always start with small things. Like, you always hear people say you can take surveys, and a lot of those places like that don't pan out. But I do have one that does pan out very well. And if you just need to get started to get money for your side hustle, you can do small little things. And you can go to this place called Respondent, and they are legitimate survey place. And sometimes they even look for people within certain niches where you can take a survey and earn anywhere from $25 to $250. I literally earned $250 just doing a test product for something in real estate with them. So you always can go to places like that, make sure they're legit. And the reason I throw that out there is because there are so many that are not legit. So I don't want you just going out there and looking on the University of YouTube and everything else and listening to everybody saying this one works when you go there and you waste your time. So even if you need to build a side hustle, sometimes you need instant coins. And this place will normally pay once a month. And if you fit into one of their surveys, they usually pay really good money.
I like that. Um, I'm going to read our last um, slide. I think that's what we'll call it. The last slide, financial impact. A survey by Bankrate in 2022 indicated that 34% of side hustlers use their extra income for essential expenses and 27% use it for discretionary spending, showcasing the practical financial benefit of side hustles, meaning more money, more money, more money. If you want to have more money, you want to have a better quality of life, if you want to be able to spend, then you should have something else that brings in revenue, that brings in income to your home. And we see this a lot of times through side hustles. I think I would like to add that it might not be the first thing that you try. I think that while I was saying that, right, you might have to try a couple of different things before you find the thing that works for you, before you find the thing that makes the money that you want to make, before you find the thing that aligns with your schedule and your talent and what you're doing. Don't be afraid to experiment with a couple of different things. Our producer said if you would like to get the list of the 40, like if you would like to get the complete list of the 40 side hustles, you can send an email to info@realvirtual.net. Can you guys put that up on the screen for me, please? info@realvirtual.net if you would like to receive the complete list of the 40 side hustles for your own personal viewing, and maybe you might want to use one of those. Again, that's info at real, REEL, virtual.net. Okay. Minister Connie, I'm not going to ask you a question either because we're kind of getting low on time. So a lot of things have been said. Did you want to add anything to the conversation before I ask my next question?
Yes, I would. I'm from an entrepreneur family. Thank God for that. So I was able to see how my family did things. One of the things that I would say when you walk into a company, I have like a couple companies. So when you walk into a company, you can usually get the feel of a company. When you walk in, it should be nice. It should be professional. You should not be able to tell if it's a Black company or a white company. And that's the way my companies are set up. I don't want nobody to have a color attached to my company. So I always put a lot of money into the look of what I want. And I do a lot of, I spend a lot of money on counseling and consultants to reach that. So I just want to put that out there also, that people could come in and they should not be able to tell what type of company or what is the color of the owner or the CFO or CEO or whatever. So I just want to put that out there.
Awesome. I'm going to ask everybody this question. I think it'd be beneficial and I think people will be able to learn from it. Being that I've been in business for 10 years. I've been a full-time entrepreneur for 10 years, me personally, right? And oftentimes I think, God, if I could go back, what would I do differently? So if you could go back to the beginning of your either entrepreneur career or your side hustles, what's one thing that you would do differently today? If you can go back and do your side hustles again, or go back and do entrepreneurship again, what's one thing that you would do differently? I'm going to go with you, Linda, because you're smiling like you already know. Look, go ahead.
One thing that I would do differently is build the business from the foundation outward instead of outward inward. I feel like now I'm building the foundation of my business because I had never been a life coach before. And it is something that I feel that is exploding, but nobody was really teaching the foundation of the business. I got certified in all of that. And then I went to figuring out or getting the people who could teach me how to create the business, the back end of the business, the fact that you're going to need landing pages and funnels and processes and Trello and Notion and all of these things. They don't teach you that. They're just teaching you how to become a life coach. What are the processes? How do you coach someone? But they did not teach me the business. And that's what I would have done first before I even hung up my flag to say, hi, I'm Linda, the Bodacious Lifestyle Coach for Black women over 50. That's what I would do differently.
I love that. What about you, Lala?
When I first got into real estate, I thought I was supposed to buy everything. So I did not come from a sales background. I actually came from an admin and creative side. So when I first got into real estate, anytime anybody came up to me and said, you need this and you need that and you need this, I put out more money in my first year than I ever did in any other years on products and things that I did not need. So don't become so obsessed with the shiny object syndrome. You can start with the basics. I could have very well, and still do, I created my own flyers. Why? Because I came from that background into sales. So use what you already have, knowing that you don't have to pay a lot of extra money to get your feet wet. So be very mindful of your pockets, because everything sounds wonderful when everybody's like, buy, buy, buy. And you're like, okay. And promises don't get fulfilled. So make sure that you watch your own pocket and use the skills that you have to uplift your side hustle.
Love it. What about you, Connie?
At first, when I started my business, I was the bookkeeper, I was the payroll clerk, I was the janitor, I was everything. So I was working in my business instead of on my business. And I think I could have grown a whole lot better. But one advice I want to say, do not hire all family, because that can be a headache.
All right, Miss Athena.
One thing I would redo is embrace failure and mistakes. So I have, and still kind of do, perfectionist syndrome. And what happens is that it can stall you because you take so long to do a process. And with business, it's an iterative process. You're constantly learning and refining and learning and refining. So embrace mistakes and don't beat yourself up on those. And also invest in your business and invest in coaching. When I invested in coaching, it took me to the next level because I was able to see things and gain knowledge on things that it would have probably taken me years to figure out. So sometimes it's worth the investment just to get like a coach or a mentor to kind of shorten that gap. And also understand, have really, really good clarity over who you're serving and what the things that they actually need. So go in groups, comment sections, just find out your particular target audience, what they actually need to experience the transformation or what your product or service is going to do for them. And then build your products and services around fulfilling the solution, providing the solutions for those needs.
Ooh, I like it. What I would say that I would do differently is start. I would start. I have a terminology that I say to my clients, and that's always be like Apple. Be like Apple, literally. Apple puts out a new phone every single year. They do not know if that phone's going to work. They do not know if there's the bugs are figured out. They put out the phone, people stand in line, they use the phone and they say, we don't like this doesn't work, fix it. Then they put out an update and people are happy. Stop waiting to launch. I'm not saying throw messy stuff out there. I'm not saying to be raggedy, but I am saying it's never going to be perfect. Whatever it is that you're thinking about doing, whatever it is that you're thinking about starting, lean into it, put something out, invest in it, do the coaching, read the book, go to the networking events, take the class, find somebody that can be your muse, get a mentor, but start taking steps towards it, because it's never going to be a right time. It's never going to be the perfect time. Everything's not going to be working right. You're never going to have the right money. The sun's not going to be in the right position beaming down on you so you can be, that's never going to happen. So if you know in your heart, in your spirit, if something has been put inside of you that you're supposed to do something, if you have a talent or a skill or some knowledge or a passion or some purpose, or you want to make a profit, do it. That's what I would do differently. I had the concept and the idea for my business for 10 years.
Wow.
I sent myself an email in Yahoo in 2001 when I came up with the idea. I didn't actually start my business until 2013. I wouldn't have waited that long. So don't wait. All right. All right. As we close out, we're going to go around the room really quick. I want to just make sure that everybody knows where you can find these queens at. Outside of here, Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. And if you want to get notified, again, I'm going to tell you again before we leave, but I'm going to tell you right now too. You can text the word Queens with an S to 87948 so that you can be notified when Fly Nubian Money is live every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that you can go and love on and support and follow and network and work with, or whatever the case might be, with all of these queens that are on the stage right now. We're going to start with Miss Linda, our bodacious life coach. Can you tell people where they can find you and how they can reach you?
Yes, I can be reached at Linda S. like Sam Husser.
I think you meant mute.
Yeah, I think I do.
There
You can find me at Linda S. Husser 1 on TikTok. I am an avid TikToker. Please don't take TikTok away. And Linda S. Husser on Instagram. Linda Susan Husser on Facebook. That name Husser, Husser, that's me all over these internet streets.
I love it. All right. What about you, Miss Lala?
Well, I always like to tell people or leave something that you can think about in your heart. And here's what I'm going to tell you. A closed mouth never gets fed. You need to make sure that you open your mouth and ask the questions so that you can get to the next level. And I hope that we've answered some questions for you to help you better yourself financially. And I make it real easy. You can just find me at bit.ly/Laura Key Info, and I'll have some other resources up there for you as well.
Thank you so much. And what about you, Pastor Minister, Miss Connie?
Yes. You can reach me at conniespearman.com. And I would just like to say, just do it. You know, like the check mark, check it off. Just do it and check it off and keep on going and see what works for you.
Thank you. Good word. And you, Miss Athena?
All right, ladies, you can find me at wewealthwoman.com. My brand is We Wealth Woman, and you can find us on social at We Wealth Woman as well. And you can listen to me on my podcast at We Wealth Woman Podcast. I am available to give wealth, womanhood, and wisdom to you all. And that is where you can find me.
I love it. I am Dr. Lene Javette. I am a monetization strategist. I help my clients to triple their revenue. I am a business coach. I help service-based Black entrepreneurs to brand their brilliance. So if you're looking to create a business where your brilliance takes the front stage, that is what I do with my clients. You can find me right there on social media at I am Dr. Lene Javette. You can also find me at my website, which is the same, www.drlenejavette.com. I want to thank all of you all for tuning in, not just today, but for the duration of Fly Nubian Money. I've been working with boys for a very long time. Folks of Fly Nubian Money. I'm here in Fly Nubian Queen. We are here every Monday through Friday at 1:00 p.m. Eastern. And if you would like to get notified when the queens are on, you'll notice that there are different queens on different days. And so it's always exciting to tune in. So if you can get here every Monday through Friday at 1:00, wear your ear pod at work. You can work and be listening. Like this is a live podcast. So you get to see us, you get to engage with us. And we want you to be here. So text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948 so that you can come hang out with us every day. We thank you for being here. Thank you to my co-queens for being here. We appreciate you guys all. Have a great day. Be blessed and be one. We'll see you tomorrow.